Hello, my name is Jerry Mobley, and I am going to be sharing with you this really adorable pocket card, and we have a few options for the insert that we'll talk about in just a little bit. We're going to be using the Snowman Magic Bundle to accomplish this, along with, let me get my little flip book here, along with the Celebrate Everything Designer Series paper. Now, this is in the mini catalog in the very back, the very last page. This is a designer series paper that you can get, and it's 48 sheets for each, and they're 12 by 12. It's a huge set of paper, so it's a really great value, and we're going to use this one and this one today. So, all right, so let's go ahead and get started. I am going to move this over here. So I've got several things already ready to go. So let's start with the card base. So your card base is going to be half a sheet of cardstock. So 5.5 by 8.5, and then you're going to score that at 4 1/4 like you normally would. So 4 1/4, boop, boop, like that. And then I'm going to flip it, and I'm going to score it at 1 1/4. Okay, so we have 4 1/4 and then flipped 1 1/4. Okay, so then as always, you're going to fold away from the valley, so just like our normal card would be, and we're going to burnish that with our bone folder. And then we're going to bend back this other one that we did and burnish that really well. The better you burnish it, the better it's going to stay. Okay, and we like flat, right? All right, so then what we're going to do is we're going to take a couple of pieces of cardstock, designer series paper. So this is cut at 2 by 5 1/4, and this is going to go right under the flap here. Okay, so I'm going to attach that. Really simple. 2 by 5 1/4 was the measurement on that, and we're just going to make sure that it is equal distant on these 3 sides, so the bottom of the card and the 2 sides. Okay, then I'm going to seal this flap down. Whoops, come on. And I'm just gonna push that down, make sure that's sealed really nice and flat. Okay, so this is what we have right now, okay? So then we're gonna take, we have 2 pieces, and if you have a continuous design, so if maybe you have trees sticking up, something like that. In fact, I'll show you one that I've done that has that exact type thing. So if you have trees that are a continuous design, you want to make sure that the top piece is cut at 1 1/4 and this piece is cut at 1. Okay, so then you're going to take the 1 inch piece, and it is 1 by 5 1/4 and 1 1/4 by 5 1/4. Basically, if you take one piece and you cut it at 2 1/4 by 5 1/4 and then just cut off that inch, that will give you the best way to do that. So we're gonna just put this piece on here on the flap, and then we're gonna open this up and we're gonna put this piece on at the top. So I'm just gonna turn this so I can see it a little bit better. And we're just trying to get that equidistant look. Hopefully it's lined up just like that. Okay, then I'm going to open this back up, and I'm going to add some tear and tape. This is our 1/4 inch tear and tape. I also sometimes use a 1/8 inch tear and tape, but it's not actually ours. I just get this one on Amazon, and so it's called score tape actually. Over there, it's just a little smaller. I wish we had this size because I do like ours a lot, but when I need something that's a little bit skinnier, this helps me out. Most of the time I use this, as you can tell by how skinny this roll is. I've used it all. Need to get another one. Okay, so then I'm going to take that off, Now remember, you can do whatever designer series paper you want to. You can do whatever cardstock colors you want to. I just chose white because this designer series paper has white in it. So, and it's Christmas, right? So it's snowy. Excuse me. I apologize for that. Okay, so then I also cut a couple of circles. Now these are from the layering circle dies. So I just cut a couple of these out. Now this one is in Pool Party. That's going to be my mat for this piece. This piece I'm going to stamp with the Granny Apple Green and the beautiful sentiment from the Snowman Magic stamp set that says it's the most magical time of the year. I love this stamp. It's so pretty. I try to use it. I've been using it a lot. Okay. Hopefully that's, whoops. Tried to hold on to it. Hopefully that's centered. Looks like it. All right. And always make sure you clean your stamps off, by the way. Use the our Stampin' Mist and you will be very happy. Not only does it smell great, but it conditions your stamps as well as clean it, which is nice. Okay. So there's that. And then we can pop this on here. And I'm just going to try to center that. And I like to get the little ruffles lined up. You don't have to do that. I just like to, you know, to each their own. And we're going to actually put this down right here. Actually, before we do that, I went ahead and cut a couple of things out ahead of time. I cut the trees out for sure because, and those are from, again, the Snowman dies, which are the coordinating dies for the stamp set. I cut those in soft suede and Granny Apple Green, which is this color here. So we have those ready. So I'm going to set those aside with this. And then we need to do a little bit more stamping. So we're going to stamp our little snowman and our bunny and the hat. So for the snowman, we need two stamps. We need the little body. And then we also need this one. I hope you can see it. It looks, well, here, let me show you this one. It looks like this. It has two little dotted lines kind of, and that is going to give us some shading to our little snowman. Okay, so I want my shading to be over here. You can choose whichever side, it doesn't matter. Okay, and that just makes him look a little rounder. Clean off those stamps. All right. And I already stamped the bunny and cut him out, so we're not going to worry about that. But I do need to do the rest of the little snowman and his hat. So we're going to do his face with the black, and this is the Memento Tuxedo Black ink. Just put his little face in here like that. And the three little dots for the coal on his tummy, his little buttons. Okay. And then let's do the hat right here. So far I've used the Pool Party ink for the snowman and the black for all these little things. And of course the Granny Apple Green for the sentiment. I also used Smoky Slate for the bunny, and I used, I think this is Crumb Cake. Yeah, Crumb Cake for the little arms, but I went ahead and cut those two things out already. So with these two, I want to show you what I did. So I took the Pumpkin Pie Dark blends, and I mean, you could use the light or the dark, I suppose. Did the little nose. And then I took the black blends. This is optional. If you just want to make sure that that is completely filled in, you know, sometimes you might have a little spot that didn't get filled in perfectly. You don't really have to if you stamp better than I did. And then the Granny Apple Green Dark I used for the hat, just so that it matches with our background. Okay, and then I'm gonna die cut these. So rather than doing that on screen, I went ahead and already die cut those and the bunny and the little arms. Okay, all right. So here we have our little die cut pieces. Now I'm gonna grab a silicone mat, And I'm going to take the two little hands and I am going to spread them apart a little bit and just put a dot of the glue. This is the my plastic is missing. This is the Tombow glue that we have, and I'm just going to pick up my little arm there, and you can have them in whatever position you want. Okay. And then I'm going to add the little hat, just a little line of glue to add my little hat, like so. All right. And that way, and if you need to clean this off, just clean it off with some alcohol. All right, so now let's talk about the insert real quick before we go any further while that dries. So you have a couple of options for your insert. You can do a plain insert that's just a card stuck in there. That works just fine. And this I cut at 3.5 by 4 5/8. It was originally 4 3/4, but just to make sure that it doesn't bump up against your glue in there, I kind of made it a little bit smaller. So it was 3.5 by 4 5/8. Or you can do this. So this one is 4 1/4 by 4 5/8. And what you do is you take this, and on the 4 1/4 side, make sure all this is straight. Okay. On the 4 1/4 side, so here's my 4 1/4. Hold on, let me check, make sure I got this cut right. Yeah. So this is 4 1/4. I'm going to go to the 1/2 inch mark, and I'm just going to score that. Okay. And then I can fold that over and burnish it. And you're probably going, what are you doing that for? Okay, so I'm going to do something similar to what I did a minute ago. I'm going to go ahead and make this a little kind of shelf, basically. You don't have to put the adhesive on, but I think it works better and stays better if you do. So we're just going to make this little kind of mini pocket down here. Okay. All right. And now that can slide in there just like that. And what happens is this gives you a little spot to put a check or cash or card if you want to do that. Okay, so you can make it a card that has something in it. Ta-da! And of course you can still write on this front and back. Or it can be just a plain card that doesn't have anything in it. So whatever floats your boat, right? Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and just leave that one in there. And we're going to go ahead and design this. So we're going to put this one on, but I want to make sure that my little tree is going to fit. Okay, so without covering up my words. So I want it about here. No, about there. That'll work. Right about there. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and add some adhesive to this and just tuck that right there. That'll work. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and take my tree, and using our reverse tweezers, you can get these in a little kit. It's in the holiday catalog. It's an embossing kit, and I love reverse tweezers. I use them all the time. Always have. They're amazing. I don't know what I did. I say always. I don't know what I did before I ever discovered them, because they're amazing. I'm so glad we finally got some with Stampin' Up, so I don't have to use other ones. Okay. And then we're going to do the same thing with this little green tree, which I did cut in. This again was in Granny Apple Green. The other one was in Soft Suede. So just a little bit, tiny bit of adhesive. The thing about this glue, guys, is that It is like super glue. You don't need a lot. Little dots will do ya. And if you get too much, it gets everywhere and then everything's sticky. So don't overdo it. Okay. All right, and it dries sticky, so you don't want it to be everywhere. Okay, then I'm gonna take some dimensionals and put them on the back of these guys. So on the bunny, whoops, he followed me. And I'm gonna put some on the back of my little snowman here. Okay. All right, I love dimensionals. I don't know about you guys, but I love dimensionals. So here we go. Here's our little bunny. And we'll take these off our little snowman. So cute, isn't it? And we'll add that here. Doo-doo-doo. Okay, and last but not least, we want to do some embellishments. So I'm using the adhesive back stars. There's two different kinds. I'm using those little ones. And I'm just gonna go 1, 2, so we have a couple on the insert. And then we'll do 1, 2, and 3. So we have 5 on there, okay? So there is our card. Now, we gotta have an envelope too, right? So all you have to do is stamp your envelope just like you did with, and I've got mine here, just like you did this little guy, and color in the little pieces. I will give you one little tidbit. If you take a piece of cardstock, and I use a piece that is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and it can be any color, doesn't matter. I just pop it in there, and I keep this actually. So let me show you mine because it's old. It's super old. Look at this. It says for envelopes on it, so I know that that's what it is. I pop this in here before I use any blends because alcohol markers like to seep into things. And this is very thin paper compared to cardstock. So if you color with blends on the front, it may seep to the back. So if you put this in before you do that, and then of course you can make sure to take it back out, you won't have any of that bleeding through. Just a little tip for you. So there is our beautiful card with the little insert piece to write your note on, add a little card or cash or check in there if you want to. I think it's a super cute card. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and don't miss out on this beautiful bundle, the Snowman Magic Bundle. It's a super cute one, and that beautiful paper. I mean, this is gorgeous paper. So, all right, thank you so much. Thank you for joining me. Bye-bye. God bless.